What's up? Final here. Today, Final Fantasy Talk, and today we're going to talk about some more Final Fantasy news in general, just Final Fantasy. This is my channel, Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy. But hey, today we're going to talk about a little interview that happened from somebody from Square Enix about a Final Fantasy VII remake talk and other remakes as well. And basically, somebody from Eurogamer, somewhere in Europe anyway, was interviewing somebody from Square Enix, and they're saying, okay, you know how popular Final Fantasy VII is. Final Fantasy VII is a very popular game in general in the whole gaming industry. If people think about Final Fantasy, a lot of people will think about Final Fantasy VII. And he's like, yeah, it's huge and stuff. And then he was asking, why haven't you made a remake about it yet? Why haven't you made, 10 is getting one, and all these other like older Final Fantasy games are getting a remake for like DS and stuff. But what about Final Fantasy VII? And he's saying that basically he wants to do it. He wants to do the Final Fantasy VII remake. But the thing is that it would take a lot of staff, it would take a lot of budget, and he also said that it would be the biggest project that he's ever done in his gaming life, basically, of making games. Because this is what he was basically saying. It was as popular as Final Fantasy VII is, a lot of people, they don't want to mess it up. They don't want to mess up this remake, and it's also a PS1 game as well. So they have to, they can't just make it, PS1 game. It was like squared in graphics and everything. It was a 2D game. So, you gotta fully remaster remaster all the graphics and everything. So it would be the biggest project and the longest project that he would do. So that's why they haven't done Final Fantasy VII at all yet. But who knows? Maybe it will. Maybe maybe in 10 years from now, 5 years from now, something like that from now, they'll eventually make it and do that. But hey, I'm ready for Final Fantasy 15 mainly, though, so they can release that first, and then they can go on with that remake. But then, also, what he was saying, that he was following, that, a lot of people were excited for Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD. That's coming out next month in North America for us. And also, he has no knowledge of Square Enix planning on making a Final Fantasy 12 remake. Now, all those rumors and everything about Square Enix saying that. Well, he doesn't know about that yet, but he did say that there is a possibility that there would be a Final Fantasy 12 HD remaster somewhere in the future. So look forward to that, all that remake stuff. You gotta have the old classic remakes. Get a good thought of where Final Fantasy first started. So, and Final Fantasy X was the big, first big remake they ever done, and it's going wild right now. So, if Final Fantasy X is going wild and everything, why can't Final Fantasy 7 and 12 as well? So that's the remake talk, and now we got a little news about future Final Fantasy games coming to PC. Now, producers from Square Enix said that all Final Fantasy 13 series games, all 3 titles, were on PC. They were all working on PC, and they tested it on PC with PC controls, PC gaming, and everything. But the only reason why, two reasons why, is that it wouldn't be a good idea for the situation because a lot of issues like security, so we didn't have enough time to do it. But they see that a lot of other countries and like North America and everything are very hardcore. There's a lot of PC gamers out there, and there's a lot of PC gamers that do want, Final Fantasy titles, not cracked versions or downloadable versions, but full-on versions of Final Fantasy on PC, and they are actually very interested of doing it now, and they think that they will start doing it now. Final Fantasy 15, they said that Final Fantasy 15 currently it's only for console. But their thoughts on putting it on PC is there is the possibility that Final Fantasy 15 would go to PC. And you gotta look at it like this, Kubos. You gotta look at it this way, because PC gaming, a lot of games run, or probably more than like 70-80% of games run a lot better and look better on PC than on console if you have a really good PC anyway. If you have like a really good, you know, gaming Alienware computer, it's gonna run and look better ever than it would on console compared to PC and console. So I understand why so many people would want this, because graphics on Final Fantasy are usually really good. Like 13 and, you know, 12 was good. 10 was good. 10 was good for PS2. That was really good. I was like really impressed with that. But for Final Fantasy 13 and looking at Final Fantasy 15, imagine how that would look on PC. It would look really awesome. So they are really considering of making future Final Fantasy titles for PC as well in the upcoming version, future version. So hey Kubos, you let me know in the comments below what you think about the Final Fantasy 7 remake. Do you think they would? Do you think it? You know, we all know that Final Fantasy 7 remake would blow up. We all know it. We all know that it's gonna blow up. So many people are gonna get it, and it's gonna go wild. And what do you think about Final Fantasy 12 getting a remake? What Final Fantasy game would you want to get a remake that they would, you know, do maybe? And what do you think about the Final Fantasy PC gaming? I think it's a good idea. A lot of people would get into Final Fantasy more, get into the Final Fantasy community more, and like I said, you know, it'd probably look a lot better on PC anyway, and I think a lot of people would like that as well. So, hey Kubos, you let me know in the comments below, and yeah, so that's just a little update on Final Fantasy lately anyway. And I'm still playing Final Fantasy 13 Live Returns. I'm almost 100% done the game. So after I'm 100% done the game, I'll be back on my normal route of posting videos. You know, I post like, I missed like 2 days of the week last week. Sorry about that, but you know, this game is addicting. But after I get 100%, I'll be back on my route and getting into walkthroughs and everything up as well. So yeah, Kubos, you let me know in the comments below how you like Lightning Returns, by the way. I think Lightning Returns is a really good game. Probably the best Final Fantasy 13 game, in my opinion, anyway. I think it's a really good, out of 13-2, Lightning Returns is my favorite. So, let me know in the comments below. So, anyway, Kubos, hope you enjoyed. I'm Final, and I'm out. Kubo. See ya!
Shake down.